Hi all, welcome to this video tutorial on embedded systems. In this video, we'll be discussing on network-based design. Throughout this video, we will cover designing tasks unique to network-based distributed embedded system and its related previous year questions. In order to design a distributed system around a network, we must schedule computations in time and allocate them to processing elements. Therefore, scheduling and allocation are some of the additional important tasks in distributed networks. Since most of the embedded networks are designed for low cost, they do not provide high speed communication, and if no proper care is taken, it may lead to bottleneck scenario in systems. We know how to analyze the performance of processors on CPUs, but coming to networks, it's quite different. Let us assume the case that messages are sent reliably. The delay for the message, that is the message delay for a single message with no contention, will be as shown here, that is Tm is equal to Tx plus Tn plus Tr, where Tx is the transmitter side overhead which occurs due to messages yet to be transmitted by the transmitter, and Tn is the network transmission time, the time at which the message will be in the network, and Tr is the receiver side overhead. Now let's look on to an example. This is a simple message delay for an I2C message. So let's assume that the I2C bus runs at a rate of 100 kilobyte per second and the data to be sent is 1 byte, that is 8 bits. We have to calculate the total number of bits in a complete packet. The format of a message packet is it contains start bit followed by address, data and stop bit. So here we have start bit 1 bit, address is 8 bits, data is 8 bits and stop bit is 1 bit. So in total we have to transmit 18 bits of data. It is given that the bus runs at 100 kilobyte per second. Converting 100 kilobyte per second to byte per second, we have 12,500 byte per second, which indicates that per second we can transmit 12,500 bytes. We have to calculate what is the time required to transmit 18 bits of data, that is equivalent to 2.25 bytes of data. On calculating, we obtain the network transmission delay, that is Tn 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 4 seconds. Some of the instructions in transmitter and receiver drives, namely the loop, they run concurrently with the message transmission. Let's assume that there are 20 instructions outside of this loop in both receiver and transmitter. Overheads on an 8 megahertz microcontroller. We have to convert 8 megahertz into seconds since we have to calculate the receiver side delay as well as overhead as well as transmitter side overhead. So 8 megahertz is equivalent to 0.125 into 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. So that through this equation 20 into 0.125 into 10 raised to minus 6, we obtain Tx and Tr, that is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. Now that we have obtained Tn, Tx and Tr, we can calculate the total message delay Tm is 1.85 into 10 raised to minus 4 seconds. Till now, we have not considered the case of network availability delay. In general, we must wait for the network to become available and then transmit the message. Therefore, total delay will be Ty is equal to Td plus Tm. That is, we are adding Td along with Tm, where Td is the network availability delay. The value of Td depends on the type of arbitration used. If the network uses fixed priority, then the availability delay will be unbounded and cannot be determined properly because there is no guarantee that when a lower priority device gets a chance, always higher priority device will be given a chance. If the network uses fair arbitration, as in round robin arbitration schemes, the network availability delay is bounded. Here the worst case network availability will be n into Tx plus T arbitration. Here, all the devices have a guarantee that they get chances at some instance of time. For T arbitration is the arbitration delay, which is small when compared to transmission time. Arbitration on networks is in a form of prioritization. Priority is assigned for devices for its communications. In a rate monotonic communication scheme, the device with shortest time is assigned the highest priority. In process scheduling, we assumed that we could interrupt process at any time. But in case of network communications, they are organized into packets. So in networks, we cannot interrupt a packet transmission for assigning the network to a higher priority packet. As a result, networks have introduced priority inversion. What is priority inversion? That is when a lower priority message is on network, the network is completely allocated to the message. Where higher priority messages is not given a chance to interrupt the transmission. Here each message has a bounded length so that it might slow down the critical communications. So far, we have assumed a single hop network where message from a source is given to the destination directly without passing through any other node intermediately. Now consider multi-hop networks where messages are routed through nodes to reach destination. The figure shows an example of a multi-hop communication. The hardware platform has two separate networks and there is direct communication between M1 and M2 and direct communication between M4 and M5. But there is no direct communication between M1, M5 and M2, M4. So in order to transmit a message from M1 to M5, M1 should transmit it through an intermediate node M3. The intermediate node receives message from one network and transmits that message to another network. Analyzing delay is difficult as it depends on computational load of the intermediate node. That is, it might also have some other messages which are yet to be transmitted. So that if there are more than one network, communications should be allocated in such manner that low priority communications can be handled separately and higher priority communications can be handled separately so that they do not interfere with each other. So it's clear that scheduling and allocation of computations and communications are clearly interrelated. If we change the allocation of computations, we change not only the scheduling of processes on those processing elements, but also potentially the schedules of processing elements with which they communicate. For example, if we move a computation to a slower processing element, its results will be available later. This affects other processing elements which depend on the results of this particular processing elements, which may mean rescheduling both the process that uses the value and the communication that sends the value to its destination. So the whole system will be affected and the whole process will get slowed down. This is all about network-based design. Here we have a previous year question. This is a question from K2 October 2019 question paper. The question is depict 4 reasons to build network-based embedded system. This is what we have already discussed. The reasons are on designing a distributed embedded system around a network, computations must be scheduled in time and allocated to the processing elements. Scheduling and allocation of communication are important additional design tasks in many distributed networks. Many embedded networks are designed for low cost and therefore do not provide excessively high communication speed. And if no proper care is given to the network can become bottleneck in system design. Here is the summary on what we have learned so far. We have learned about design tasks unique to network-based distributed embedded systems, different delays such as network transmission delay, network availability delay, transmitter side overhead, receiver side overhead. We have learned about single hop network and also we have familiarized about multi-hop networks. Thank you all. Thank you for listening to this lecture.